So anyways, we're out here in Rosemont, going to drop off the kids something, and then I swear to God too, you guys have no idea. So let me give you a couple of examples about how they stalk me. They put dental offices, like 2 on a block, to make fun of the fact that one of my teeth is fake. It's a cap. And I don't have the cash on hand to replace it. Not again, understand, it's not that I don't know how to earn income. It's not that I don't know how to sell. It's not that I don't know how to run a business. It's not that I don't know how to work. It's that I'm being oppressed intentionally and repeatedly. Ignored by the court system, denied a court date, which again is a violation of my civil rights. Another thing they do is I have a dog named Luna. My mom has her right now. I got her about 8 weeks before I was thrown into the street unlawfully. My mom has had her the entire time. I haven't been able to get her back. They have people walk around me with the exact same puppy that I have everywhere, like following me. On top of that, you could see right here an advertisement for the fucking bridal show. I went to the bridal show with Dylan's mom and his aunt. We planned my entire wedding from his tuxedo to my dress. And I have not seen a single fucking advertisement about the fucking bridal show until today. The same day that they kick off. The last 2 days have been horrendous. 2 days ago, they started fucking with me at the dollar store when I went to buy laundry soap. I did a $20 cash back on the transaction, and they tried to say that it didn't go through, even though it was already deducted from my Cash App account. And just really mean shit, like really mean shit. Saying I deserve to be raped, saying I should die, I should kill myself. This harassment, or that I'm fat, that I'm ugly, just you name it. Like, they've said every single fucking thing. And they know that I feel very self-conscious with my weight. I gained a lot of weight over my pregnancies, and I worked my ass off in the gym to lose it. I worked really hard. I paid a lot of money for personal training and then for my own education and personal training. I'm a fucking beast. Fuck you for fucking calling me fat. I'm not fat. And lastly, when you combine all those things together, the harassment online, the harassment in person, the 4 or 5 fucking dental offices per city block that clearly don't exist, the wedding show, like bullshit, and then you add in any sort of intentional antagonism, and then add in that I'm separated from anyone who I love and who supports me, my family, and support meaning emotional, my friends. I was pregnant after being, okay, so let me put this on the record also. Xavier and I, when we were living with his father in the Gold Coast, we were told that was going to be our apartment, okay? That was going to be for us and the kids. 8 or 9 hours pass that Xavier is having sex with me, and I am completely out of it. Halfway conscious, opening my eyes and then falling back asleep. He remembers it. I remember it. He says it was just him. I think there were more people than just him. He says it was just him. I end up pregnant after that. So, with twins. So, the pregnancy was confirmed by Rush, by Delnor, by Northwestern, by my private physician. I had numerous ultrasounds. 3 days before Christmas, Xavier, and again, I'm telling you, it was not Xavier. Xavier doesn't treat me like this. Scratches the fuck out of my cervix with his fingernail in the middle of the night. I wake up in the night screaming and crying. We were at MD Bull's Airbnb. And 3 days later, we go to the Airbnb on Addison. December 26th, I miscarried. So I went into preterm labor. I started contracting, and I delivered the fetuses in that Airbnb. And both babies passed away. Rest in peace. I had to have a blood transfusion and emergency surgery. I don't really know who. I don't really understand why or who or how this is going on still. They're not letting me work. They're keeping me in a fucking tent. This is the 4th year that I've been displaced from my home. I've never been homeless before this 4-year period. They destroyed my car. They beat me. They won't let me see a judge. I filed hundreds of police reports. Anytime I call law enforcement, they say no investigation. No investigation has been started. My kids, I raised them from the day that I born them out of my body until November 24th, 2019, at which point a man was trying to break into my house. My kids saw, I saw. I called 911. 911 came. No investigation was launched. They did not even dust for fingerprints. They told me I was hysterical and crazy and made me call the kids' fathers to come pick them up, and I've been separated from them ever since. I've been being passed around, raped, robbed, beaten, and abused. I have every fucking step, every place that I've stopped written down, the dates that I was there, for how long, who was there, who picked me up, all 20 or 21 of the jobs that I've worked written down with hiring managers, dates and times of termination with the phony reasons, all the times I followed up with various HR departments just to be told there was never even a background check ran. There is something nefarious going on, obviously. I was beaten over the head with a fucking tire iron. My whole body was fucked up, dude. They hit me in my ribs, they hit me in my face, they hit me in my legs. I then had to walk 2 miles, maybe 3, to Rose Bar, Tampa, because I got a job there and I couldn't pass it up. So I'm there with a huge black eye, my entire face huge. It's all posted on my social media. Still to this day, no one has done anything to assist me in any way. Jumped and stabbed by 3 women 11 times with screwdrivers, covered in contusions from head to toe. My car intentionally destroyed, demolished, mechanically sabotaged numerous times. I think I put $20,000 of work into that car easily, that I should have never had to do if it wasn't for someone nefariously, intentionally fucking up my car. And they're ballsy. They did it even while it was parked in a gated community. So I was living with Charlie Keene in Barrington, and they did it there also. They're fucking with my medication anytime I get it, which is why I've been taking such a low dose and waiting so long in between. It's fucking me up. It makes it very difficult for me to get my work done. I'm very unfocused, anxious, crying a lot. They ripped my pants off my body while I was asleep, ripped the whole waistband off, yet I didn't wake up. But no one wants to say that I'm being sedated. So how do you explain ripping someone's pants off of their body, but Xavier didn't wake up and I didn't wake up? And then I wake up the next morning and there's a huge rip. How do you explain that? Basically, I know that I'm being followed, stalked, harassed, beaten, abused. Law enforcement has refused to offer me any assistance despite the hundreds of police reports filed in numerous various cities, states, and counties. There are no domestic abuse assistance programs available. I've contacted all of them. I have a reference number for that, as well as the the human trafficking hotline that I also called for help in 2019. These people don't give a fuck. They do not care. They do not care. And I have 3 children who I am desperate to get back to raising. Again, and I just want to repeat this one last time, I have been on my own since I was 14 years old. My mother sent me to Jamaica. I was there a year. No crimes ever having committed, no criminal record, nothing. I had an attitude. When I got back from Jamaica after the year, I didn't trust my mom or my stepdad, and I began running away. Okay? When they caught me for running away, they put me on juvenile detention and put me in the juvenile detention center for the 6-month program. No crimes ever committed, no criminal record, no criminal history, for running away. From there, my mom refused to allow me back in the house because she was pregnant with my little brother, Robert, Rock, we call him. And she didn't want my attitude to affect the pregnancy or our arguing. I was okay with that, I understood, but I was not happy because I had to go to group homes. I had to go to fucking institutionalized centers. I had to go to Madison, Wisconsin, Stoughton, Wisconsin for another year. I was in program after program for no fucking reason, with no criminal record, never having committed a crime, and it did nothing for me. It did nothing for me but make me miss my family even more. At 18 years old, or a few weeks before my 18th birthday, I aged out of any sort of government program. They could no longer abuse me. I was off of papers. And, you know, again, no criminal record, thrown into the street with no money, no home, no car, and nowhere to go. And guess what? I fucking made a way. I made a motherfucking way. I did not even spend a full week in the street before I found a way. How the fuck do you explain? And then after that, I put myself through college with 3 young children while working a full-time job, if not 2 full-time jobs. How fucking dare you people? How do you explain, including 7 years at Northwestern Hospital, which is an incredibly prestigious hospital. So for you to try and say that there's a drug addiction problem or a mental health problem, everyone knows it's not true. It's not true. I see my doctor monthly. I take drug tests anytime I ask for one, and I ask for one frequently anytime they start running that narrative again. They're always clean. I smoke weed, that's all I've ever done. I'm not crazy. I'm not sick. I'm not a fucking criminal. I have no criminal record. I don't hurt people. I don't get into fights. I've never been in a fist fight in my life. Can you imagine how terrifying it would be? as a 35-year-old woman with 3 children to be fucking jumped by 3 bitches and stabbed? Be left laying there on the ground bleeding out? How about by a dude beaten with a fucking tire iron? Beaten with a fucking tire iron so that you can't even stand up. Unconscious. I wake up, I'm in a fucking ambulance. I'm sick of this shit. I'm tired of making these fucking FTR videos. I'm tired of being followed. I'm tired of being harassed. I'm tired of all of it. I need solutions. It's 4 years since Dylan's release. Dylan, IDOC number Y12173. Mr. Dylan J. Smith. His information has completely disappeared from the IDOC. And it did within 6 months. This man was sentenced to 12 years in prison. Got out after four years, and was terminated from his parole, even though he was beating me and using a bunch of drugs within 6 months. 6 months. 6 months. I was thrown out of the apartment that we lived in together. My children had a room there. I had a room there. I had all my furniture there, my bed, my car, my clothes, my makeup, every fucking thing. How do you justify that? How do you even make it make sense that I've been in my own apartment since I was 18 years old, paying my own rent, doing everything myself with no support from anyone, and now here I am at 36 and I have no place to go, going on year 4, and my car's been destroyed, and my confidence has been destroyed, and my body's been destroyed? Fuck you. For real. I don't deserve this shit. Even if I was committing crimes, can you tell me what crime would be bad enough to be followed and tortured and harassed and beaten for 4 years straight? Because I can't think of one. We have fucking pedophiles, murderers, rapists walking around like it's their fucking job. But you motherfuckers, rather than taking care of them, make me walk around outside 4 or 5 days at a time, no food, nowhere to sleep, nowhere to go, until my body is so exhausted that I pass out on the sidewalk and get raped in a hotel room. Wake up on the sidewalk with a dude's ass out 3 feet away from my head. Passed out, so exhausted, passed out on North and Clybourne, sober, no drug use. No one has any answers. Yet I see fucking police cars driving around all over the goddamn place. I walk into the courthouse on camera. It's posted on my socials, you can go check. I file the petition on camera. I carry a copy with me everywhere I go, and I have one scanned into my phone. 6 petitions in the last 3 years have been formally filed. 6 times they have failed to give me a court date. I'm sick of this shit. Anyways, we're out here in the suburbs, hoping that the harassment will stop momentarily. I'm going to go walk over to my kids' house and drop them off some groceries. Hopefully I can make it back to Portage Park to drop off groceries over there. I really don't have money at all, but I've been, through the chatter, they've been telling me a lot that my family, including any children, run the risk of being victimized if I'm not, I don't know, all this bullshit. They've even told me not to go to the doctor because every time I go to the doctor, I'll be raped to recoup the expenses. It's sick. The shit that they fucking say and do, it's sick. And I wake up, my belongings are missing or moved or whatever the case is. Xavier, has a lock that we put on the door, and there's no explanation for any of it, and no one is stepping in. So, like I've been saying on the last hundreds of fucking videos, all I've ever wanted was to be with my children in my own space, minding my own business. That's all I've ever wanted. What you're forcing me to do, because I can't even be provided with the bare minimum, is run extensive surveillance, bring teams to observe and witness the behavior against me, and continue to gather evidence for 4 or 5 years now of this unlawful abuse. I went in front of IA, Internal Affairs, in Chicago with a lawyer, Nick Albuquerque, because I was being sexually harassed by Detective David Shepard. He was saying I had no criminal record, was not on papers. He was saying, you're going to help us figure this out. You're going to text me every day. You're going to call me every day. And if you don't, I'm going to come to your house and take your children away. Fast forward 5 years, Dylan's released. Where are my children? Where are my children? Internal Affairs already fucking ruled that he was wrong. They extracted all the texts from my phone, all the proof. How am I still being harassed today? Where the fuck is the law? Like, what is going on? How is this legal? It is not legal. It is not ethical. It is completely immoral. It's sick. Anyways, we're going to bring the kids some, a bag of groceries. And I got the girls each a sticker book, just a cute little like coffee stickers and kisses and makeup stickers. I figured they could decorate like their mirrors or their planners for school with it. And then I got my son, Xavier got my son a Tupac shirt because Tupac is his favorite rapper of all time. He listens to more like old school music, like how I listen to like Metallica, Aerosmith because of my dad. He's like on that Tupac shit because of his dad, old school 90s, you know, his uncles too. So they're going to be excited about that. I already dropped off the sticker book and 2 books, a Judy Moody and a Naughty Monkey book for Alexis to practice with because she was a little bit behind in reading, but not much. She was not behind. She was at the speed of her class, and Orlando wasn't happy with that. So I'm doing what I can, you know, to the best of my ability. I'm pretty sure I have a broken toe, possibly 2. Yesterday we did 30 miles easy. We've been doing an average of 5 to 10 miles a day. On top of that, shooting fitness content any and everywhere that we can. I got my COVID shot so that maybe I can get a job doing boat tours in the summer or some other tour guide stuff. I was applying for those jobs. They're high hourly, and they seem fun. I can network. I can pass out my business cards. I can, you know, I can pass out QR codes to social media. I can meet a lot of people that way. Tourists especially are great for new business development because they're from all over the world and country. And when you pass out your info, they tell someone from where they're from, you know, and like that, it spreads. So that's about it. The harassment that began 4 years ago, again, in the thousands at this point. I have 500 blocked accounts on my Instagram alone, just on my Instagram. And that is my 5th Instagram since the show came out and since Dylan was released from prison. So to say I have 2,500 people blocked is probably an underestimate. I'm still hopeful. I have not lost faith. I believe wholeheartedly in God. And I don't think that God is just going to let this shit pass. At the same time, I like to remind anyone who's, you know, out for nefarious purposes or out for blood or trying to come at me, I was born dead, bitch. Literally. I was born having already had a bowel movement in my mother's amniotic fucking sac. And I swallowed, took a deep breath of amniotic fluid and shit. And somehow, here the fuck I am 36 years later. So if you're fucking with me, you're wasting your time. Leave me the fuck alone, bitch. I cannot die. I was born dead. Born dead. Had to be incubated for a whole day. Maybe 2. There is no killing me. Let me be with my children and back the fuck up off of me, please, and thank you.
Today, Rothy is taking a